This is a video chart presentation of Quantum Fuel Systems Technology Worldwide, Inc. It's a NASDAQ Global Market stock trading under ticker QTWW. This is a pretty interesting chart because so many plays have fallen off recently like this, but then put together a nice big bounce. Now they're in a pretty precarious position, for lack of a better word, because you just don't know if they're going to try and fall back or not. QTWW has not made much of a bounce, but it's still sitting on a pretty strong support level. So I'm going to keep this on radar to see if it's going to hold this support or fall through it. We're getting some slight hints here. MACD histogram trending back towards zero. But interesting to note that looks like it's going to make a little bit lower of a low. So when you're reading indicators, that's the kind of thing that says that's pretty neutral, even though it looks like it might try and put together a turn. Because a short-term bounce just may come with the histogram trending back towards zero. But in the longer perspective, you will have to wonder about this lower low. I'd feel a little bit more comfortable with this play trying to put together a nice strong bounce that was at least at the same level. So just a little bit of a technical lesson there. Very similarly with the PPO. This ADX is pretty neutral, not getting a whole lot from that. MFI is showing a little bit of buying pressures trying to come into this play. Always keep in mind that 50 mark. So it's got some buying coming into it. You want to see these long terms trying to move to the upper half. It's a much more bullish look to the chart. Accumulation distribution, slightest little turn, but making a lower low. You can see Chaikin money flow shows selling pressure has clearly been dominant, but in the near term, turning upward a little bit, heading back towards zero. CCI is making a little bit of a push, pushing above negative 100. That's a good sign. Full still, down and oversold, trying to curl a little bit. It's way early on, some possible momentum coming into this play, but trying to make a turn. Trix is lagging. You can see it's never going to turn fast enough. It's already going to make a lower low, kind of running right along with the MACD. That's a pretty nice look to the RSIs. 7 looks like it's going to break up through the 14 and 21. Pretty nice positioning for possible bounce. Like I started this whole thing out, you can see there's a pretty good support level right here around this $3.10 area. Held it several times. The bad news is there's just not much support in sight until all the way down here just over $2 if this support level can't hold. I would throw in there some secondary support right there around 275, but that bottom support's down there at 225. That's a pretty far fall. This closed at 337. Even to the secondary support from a percentage standpoint, that's a pretty good drop. So it's really important that this $3.08, $3.10 mark holds. On the upside, definitely see some resistance right there about 350. Ties in through here, ties in through here. Over the last week or so, it's having a tough time moving above it. To the north side, that's going to be an important spot for it to put together some strong volume and blow through that area. I'd say resistance picks back up right around $4. 50-day moving average is coming into play there. Those whole numbers just in general seem to act as a resistance point almost all on their own, even if there's not some static or dynamic resistance in the way. They just always seem to act as a support and resistance level. What I mean by that is $1, $2, $3, $4, that sort of idea. This one does tie into some static resistance as well. Back here in March, it was a support level that it fell through. And even in the more near term, very brief, right here around the beginning of August, end of July, it was trying to act as a support level. So I look for $4 to be pretty tough. Then beyond that, I'd say there's some more secondary around 450, but resistance really doesn't get hard on this play until it gets up near the $6 range. Now, just as on the flip side, down to the support level, that's a pretty substantial upside until it hits the real strong resistance. And you can see it's kind of got itself a little bit of a channel action going on, with oscillating back and forth from down around $3 to up to $6, going back into May for over the last few months. So it's for those kind of reasons this chart's going to hit the watch list to see if it's going to try and make the move again. I'd pay attention to this near-term resistance and, very importantly, this support level to see if those indicators can exit their neutral sort of positions and either make up their mind if they're going to try and go bullish or, of course, on the downside, go bearish. So, interesting chart. Some technical lessons wrapped right up in it. I thought it was a good one to share today. As always, this is merely my interpretation of the QTWW chart. Thank you for watching and trade smart.